Jimmy Rice, our featured artist for August here at the KVC Creations Gallery. And usual just start-up questions so people know a little bit about you. So how old are you, Jimmy, and where are you from?
I'm 64.
Yeah.
And I was born in Sydney. And I spent 20 years in the Blue Mountains. I had a house up there, and now I live in Shark Creek.
Lovely. And how long have you been with us at Shark Creek?
It's about 4 years now.
4 years? Yeah. Okay. And how long have you been an artist for? Have you been drawing and sketching and stuff your whole life?
Well, yes and no. The first thing I ever did was a caricature of Norman Gunston. I saw him on TV.
Oh wow, he was a great character.
I loved him, and then I went and did a drawing. I've never done any drawing before that, and I just did like a caricature of him and put it on the wall. And there was nothing in between. I didn't take art at school or anything like that. After I bought a house through comic doing stand-up, I thought, what do I really want to do now? And I thought, I want to go to art school. And so the TAFE at Penrith, they had an exam to get into it.
Oh, right, yeah.
And I thought, oh, I can't do that. And then I went to ceramics instead, and I hated it, getting my hands in clay and washing my hands, and then go to the toilet every time I washed my hands. And I saw this guy walking around a pile of sticks just going. And I'm like, oh, I want to do that. So I went and I did the art drawing test to get in.
Yeah.
And mind you, I was about 40 when this was happening.
Yeah.
And because 20 years of comedian. And then I didn't get in. And I thought, and? So I rang him and said, when do I start? And I said, well, you didn't get in. I said, yeah, I know, but when do I start? And I said, you didn't get in. And I said, well, when do I start? And I rang him up every day for a couple of weeks, and then the head of art, David White, said, oh, come in on Monday.
I love it. You just pestered them until they broke.
I was thinking, well, if I could draw, then I wouldn't need you,
Yeah.
And yeah.
And how long was that course? Like, how long did you do that for?
I did a diploma in fine art. It was 2 years.
Oh, wonderful.
And,
that answers one of my questions I was going to ask you for later, so.
Sure. Our first landscape was just fantastic. He's a fantastic teacher. And we're still friends, he comments. And
oh, that's amazing.
My drawings,
Yeah.
He calls them maestro. I feel embarrassed about that, but yeah, but he's fantastic and amazing artist, Egyptian guy.
Oh wow!
And
yeah.
So a lot of his work's based on flat, and anyway, sensational. And I'm starting this drawing of the TAFE grounds.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it going, this is so embarrassing. It's just scribbles, like just scribbling. And I was just thinking, oh fuck, and I'm looking at people and you could see what they're drawing, and mine's just scribbles, just scribbles. He come along and went, great! I went, are you joking?
You're like, really?
It's like scribble. He said, go down and have a look at Cy Tombley. And Cy Tombley does a lot of scribbling. I thought, oh, then I'm an artist, If I didn't have him to start off with, I don't know where I would have ended up.
Oh, it's wonderful that you had that teacher and that mentor that could see something in yourself that you couldn't see. It's always a big help when you're an artist, and I think I find for myself and a lot of other artists that I know, we all tend to be a little bit sensitive about our art, so because it's so personal. And I think if you've got somebody like a teacher or somebody on that level that comes and says, oh, this is brilliant.
Yeah, it's like a stamp of approval or help. There was a girl in our class, it was only a small class, there was 14 of us, and most of us were mature age.
Yeah. And
this girl, Sharika, she could draw figuratively perfect almost, but she criticised herself, oh, I don't like this and that and that. And oh, I wish I was more free like you, Jimmy. And I'm like, Cherie, I could try and draw like you for the rest of my life and never get close. But she ended up criticising herself out of the course.
Oh, that's sad.
And I thought, oh my God, I'm not going to be that hard on myself. Where you just run yourself down so much in what you're doing. And
it's sad for her, but it might have been a good lesson for you to sort of, not do that to yourself.
Yeah.
And seeing what she did. Yeah.
When I started doing cartoons, it's like I wasn't that concerned about perspective. Like we had life drawing and drawing classes at TAFE, and it was all about that sort of thing. But if my arm was longer than the other, I didn't care. Sometimes it would irritate me and I'd redo it.
Yeah.
But maybe I've done that 3 times and over hundreds of drawings, and it's where it lays is where it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and I will think towards the end of a painting or a drawing, I'll start honing in on what I want to see.
Yeah.
But it's not that rip yourself down like Cherie did.
Yeah, it's just, and I used to be super critical of my own art, but I sort of got to that level of, okay, I'm not going to say this is awful, but I'm just going to see where I can fix it. But yeah, it's sad when you see an artist that's got that much potential and they sort of make themselves quit. But it's great that you've kept going and now you're exhibiting with us.
Sure.
And it's all fabulous and everybody loves it. So have you always sketched with both hands with the ambidextrous thing, or is that a recent sort of a technique that you've developed?
Yeah, no. I had to get my hands operated on.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
I was teaching and I thought I'll keep putting this one off and I'll learn to use my left hand so I can keep teaching and doing what I have to do. And so I kept putting this thing off and it was pretty painful. I used to partially dislocate.
Ooh.
And both of them actually, and this one's fine, pop it in, no worries. This one, and at one point I heard a I thought, oh, that can't be good. It wasn't any more painful than normal. And later on when I had an x-ray, they went, oh, you've broken this hand at some point. I went, really?
Wow. And you'd think I'd remember that.
Yeah. So I put it off and I started trying to, at first it was like, oh my God, with my left hand, it was like a stroke victim going, oh. And then I just went relaxed. You already know how to write, and I do lines and stuff, and then I'd write, and at first it's all wobbly and shaking, and then hundreds of words around lines and stuff, and lots of them, and eventually it became natural.
Wow.
And then I got the operation done, I kept teaching, and I had the cast on. It was really strangling me.
Ooh. And
I thought, I went up to IA and said, I've got to get this thing off. And one of the teachers said, oh, use the bandsaw. And I went, what? A bandsaw? I won't go out, I'll come back with no hand, And then one of the others said, use some airplane snips, the tin snips. It's a lot safer. And I cut it off,
Yeah.
And I'm sitting at the desk and I went to write something with my left hand. I went, I don't need to do that anymore, and then I saw another pen and went, oh, I wonder if I can use both. So I picked it up and then I went, okay, you follow me. No, you follow me. You follow me. Mirror, independent, work together, and it just sort of felt natural. And that was about 8-9 years ago, and I've been drawing it with 2 hands ever since.
Oh, that's really cool that you sort of just did it for a practical reason, and then it's sort of evolved into how you do your art.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. So do you use other mediums as well when you're creating art? Like not just the pens, do you do a bit of painting as well or anything else?
I used to paint a lot.
Yeah.
In fact, when I was doing honours and the BA, most of my work were paintings.
Oh, beautiful.
And when I live in a bus, and when I moved into the bus, it's just not practical.
Yeah.
Although my bus is 11 metres and I painted it. It took me 3 weeks and $1,000 worth of solar guard to paint it.
Yeah.
And it sort of stands out a little bit, you know. I was on that Esplanade at Beach for about 6 weeks, and these rangers came and said, "Look, there's been talk that you've been here for 6 weeks." This thing's fluoro colours, you know, it stands out. And I said, "Oh, are you sure it's me they're talking about?" So, me, had a friend, she was in the bus, she was laughing her head off. But anyway, yeah, so actually the drawing sort of started when I was teaching.
Yeah.
Even though I was still painting at home before I moved into the bus. But staff meetings, faculty meetings, professional development days, I found them so excruciatingly tedious, you know, and
boring.
And I'd fall asleep, you know. I'd be in a staff meeting, I'd drop the generator, oh! And then everyone would go, oh. They'd be staring at me, going, I'd be looking around, who was that? And it would happen every time, and I started drawing just to keep me awake, you know. And you know, every day I would draw. In fact, if I had to do a meadow bank, you know, like when the Year 12s leave, and then you have to take up some extra classes, I would just sit down and I wouldn't have marked the roles straight away, and I'd just start drawing, and like really quiet, and it'd be so quiet, and I thought, oh, this is great. Yeah. So then about half an hour later into the class, I'd do the role, and they'd be looking around going, and I continue, and then the bell would go, and it's like, great class, sir, thanks. You're welcome.
Off you go. I'm just going to sit here and finish my drawing, but that is a really great way to do it. Just practice as much as you can, any time that you can, and yeah, you just develop these techniques and things.
I had these pieces of paper like that, and so I would just sketch, and at some point I went, you know what, they're more than doodles, these things, you know, they're actual drawings. So I started sticking them in diaries. I kept them and sticking them in.
So what is your favourite medium that you like to use when you're creating your art?
Well, painting really always got me excited. Like, we had to paint at TAFE. We had to paint the landscape as well.
Oh, lovely! Yeah.
And you know, my grass was pink. I'm just watching the pink going on. Ah! This is so exciting. It's like, wow, you know, it's like, I don't know why did I mix the colour. And that's where the grass is, you know, the pink colour, and you know, and that's good. But you know, because of practicality of the bus and stuff, and the drawings, and it's become a habit. So I think I stopped counting drawings a couple of years ago at 1,000, you know.
Wow.
And then the cartoons that I've been doing, I started a couple of years ago, and I count them because I said when I got to 500, don't go to 1,000, don't go to 1,000. And then I went, I'll go to 1,000, and I'm like at 769 or something, you know.
Yeah.
It's like now I just number as I go along, and it's this routine, a ritual of keeping it's the mode, I feel it keeps me sharp, and
certainly would.
And there's value to the meditative causal effect.
Yeah. Yeah, art's great if you just want to relax. I find if I'm painting something or just drawing something or having a bit of a sketch, it just, like if you're worried about something, it seems to get you out of that headspace, and you just sort of calms you down a bit.
Yeah, it's pretty much like surfing in the moment.
Yeah, in the moment, that's for sure. So do you have like a favourite artist, like apart from the wonderful teacher you were telling me about that you've been inspired by during life as an artist?
One of our lecturers that I supervises at uni, he gave a talk on director, and he went through a grid period, and I loved the grid, but I didn't like the way he was using them, you know, because grid to me is order, and he was like, there's, you know, like accents everywhere, but chaos in the grids, and that's amazing, you know. And I went, no, fuck, no, I want to make grids, but they're going to be complementary, you know.
Yeah.
So every colour that goes on is going to suit with every other colour, and there was a course that we did called experimental writing, and I thought, you know what, I'll write a story in a grid, and then I'll mix up a complementary colour of the alphabet. Each letter will get its own key, but no matter where it goes, it's going to fit. And so once the canvas is gridded and the story's in and the colours are mixed, then it's the process of doing each rectangle. And it's like the outcome is already predetermined by your writing style and by your personality. Because I had this idea that I was going to make one like 3.5 meters by 3 meters big, and I said to the painting teacher, well, this is what I want to do, but can I do that as experimental writing as well as painting? And it's no problems, you know. So it allowed me to create this massive thing. It's like when you're not worried about the end result, like the process gets you there, and which it does. I really love these group paintings, and I made so many, and I suppose I did a surfboard not so long ago.
Oh wow, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, same sort of process, mix the colours and did it. And I was really pleased with it. And the second time I took it out, I broke the whole board.
Oh no.
And people are saying, oh, you know, you can glue it back together, and I'm like, I was so annoyed. I just got up and I cracked the rest of it and shoved it in the skip bin. Just like beating it against the fence and put it away until it fit into the garbage.
Oh, that's, no more serving for you.
I didn't want to look at it.
So how long have you been interested in kind of the political cartooning, and is that sort of in line with like your comedy and stuff you do as well?
Yeah, the cartoons.
Does one sort of inspire the other?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
It's like as a comedian, I never really worried too much about politics because it's a dodgy area.
Yeah, it's a very, very dodgy area.
And it's also like the news, it's fleeting.
Yeah, that's for sure, yeah.
And my comedy's more about emotional sort of thing. That way everyone can relate to it, and it can have longevity. But a lot of the cartoons that I started with just come from my mind, and then it started to be, oh yeah, I wanna do this or that, you know, just, and then look for the drama in the situation. And then I thought I'd look at the news and a lot of the cartoons come from the news, but I don't
Yeah.
go very much deeper than the headlines.
Yeah, it's probably the best way to be.
Yeah,
Bit safer there.
and then I put my own sort of take on them.
Yeah.
Like you can see up there the emu ones you gave me, humans. That's just straight from my mind, you know.
Yeah.
And this one's here from Urban Legends. I've done a lot of Urban Legends.
Oh yeah, Urban Legends are great.
This,
Alien.
I did an Alien week, and I saw this guy. He was an astrologer from the Vatican. He came out and said exactly this, except there's no conflict believing in God and the possibility that it might be extraterrestrials. So I thought in a parallel universe there would be an alien pope, and he'd be saying the same thing about humans.
Yeah.
So that was just my take on that. So yeah.
Excellent.
There are recurring themes that come up.
Yeah. So how do you feel about being our featured artist for August and for the After Dark event?
Oh, I reckon I'm honoured. It's like both Pam and Kane are extraordinary people.
They certainly are.
You know, I mean, I was going to pull out my pendant that I bought from it's in there. I will pull it out.
Yeah, pull it out.
How amazing is that?
That's beautiful. They're all beautiful though. He's a very talented man too, Mr. Kane.
For sure.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I'm honoured, and usually my routine is I check the surf out. If the tide needs to change, I'll go and do a drawing and then go back and have a surf, or vice versa.
Yeah.
And then by the time I get back to the bus, I'm buggered, you know. Of course, I got Fringe Comedy Festival coming up.
And when is that coming up, and where is that going to be held? Is that the one that's in Sydney?
It's in Sydney. It's the 28th. My show's on the 28th and the 29th of September.
Yeah.
And it's at the Factory Theatre. And that should be fun. I'm resurrecting the first character that I ever started with, the boxer.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
But the show is called The Unloved Carnage of My Past Relationships.
Yeah.
So it's going to start like this character's like the boxer used to get. They call me killer, but I'm a little bit worried. And this is going to be. They call me Sonny Jim, probably because I'm an optimist, despite the fact.
Yeah.
And it goes on, so it lends itself to that. So that's going to be a lot of fun, because I had a big gap in comedy, and I've done a couple of shows since, and they went so well, and I enjoyed them.
Oh, that's great.
So I thought, I was a feature act at the Comedy Store and all around Australian comedy venues for 20 years. And I took 20 years off to go to art school, and I ended up teaching. Shame on the education department, really, but anyway.
And you do a little bit of songwriting and music as well, don't you?
Yeah, I started at a very young age writing songs. I learnt the guitar. I had one lesson. It was a group. We went to a group hall. There was my mum and my sister, and the guy played Wipeout, but he did chords at the same time. We're like, wow. Then we had to go away. Actually, we never went back, and my mum and my sister never took up the guitar again, and I just kept playing and learned chords. And I was like working for about 2 years, a year and a half, 2 years, as a comedian, like a feature act down the Comedy Store, and I thought, I'm going to put the guitar in, and I didn't really have any comedy songs, but I didn't think that far ahead. I'm going to put the guitar in. And when I went, it's time for the guitar, I picked it up and just went, oh my God. The song that I'd sort of planned was really stupid. It was like, Mary's having a number 2, poo, 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 that was it. I thought, you know, the show was going great. I thought, I can't do this. And so I'm slowly putting on the guitar and I write our music lovers leave the room. I ended up doing a 10-minute bit and I didn't even do the song, you know, and I kept that 10-minute bit that I had lived and after every show, and then gradually built a good, you know, like a musical component of that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's nice for you to be able to sort of marry other interests into the one like the comedy. You can pop a little bit of music in there and then you can sort of bring it into your artwork as well. And
it's definitely some artists, Godinsky, they used to play, I think he used to play jazz or whatever. It's definitely the atmosphere or the music that's surrounding you can change the tempo, or it does for me, change the tempo of it. Of the way I do things, stuff. But I've been writing songs for ages and ages. In fact, one of my girlfriends, Tracy, she wrote on my songbook, Jimmy's songbook, have you got 5 minutes, you know? and Brushgrove has given me an opportunity to actually sing them because I've never sang them in public before that, you know. And I must have written knows how many songs, you know.
You've done really great at Brushgrove too. Everybody really enjoyed all your performances.
Thanks. It's like, for me it was great for two things. Like, I got to sing the songs to, you know, in public, but also to help me get ready for the show because I hadn't played the guitar and stood up for 20 years. And so when I did do the first show back, even though the show went well, I was really uncomfortable. It was like standing up and just, how do I move or whatever? And so that's been good.
Yeah, it's a wonderful platform there, the open mic night at Brushgrove, for if you're coming back into it or you just want to get your songs out there, or you're like me, you're just beginning and scared to death. But yeah, it's been really wonderful, and it's been great to have you there at Brushy, so lovely to see you there again soon, hopefully.
Oh, next time I think.
Oh, that would be great. Okay, let me think. Is there anything else you'd like to tell us about yourself and your art?
No, people...
We've pretty much covered everything, haven't we?
Yeah, it's weird though because I do use two hands, it becomes like a spectacle for people, you know, and they'll stand around and watch me. I'm thinking I'm not a fucking sideshow, you know. Mostly just gawking. It's a bit weird, but a lot of people come over. Like I've had lots of people come over and they're like, "We've been watching you," and I'm like, "Whoa!" So, and you know, "Oh, you're very talented." Or they go, "You're using both hands." I'm like, "Oh."
Really? Who knew?
But usually, for goodwill of everyone, like it just takes a while to do a drawing.
Yeah.
I'll you know, be polite and talk to them, and if they want more, then I'll talk to them more about it.
Yeah, most people are pretty good. They're usually genuinely interested, especially if it's something a little bit different, like what you're doing with the ambidextrous thing with both hands.
Some weird things that have happened, like I was at this cafe and I went up to order a coffee and I come back and someone had left a pet rock, a painted rock on the table. This is the waitress, someone's left their pet rock. I didn't notice it before, and then they're like, "Oh no, they left it for you."
Oh.
And then another time, the waitress said, "Oh," she gave me $10, and I said, "Well, what the hell is that for?" And she said, "Oh, well, someone gave it to me to give to you." Right. okay. And people like to show me their work if they're artists.
Oh, that's cool.
All the time, you know, and one young kid, and Gary Cafe, Connor, and you know, he looked at his work's great, and then he showed me some of his prose, and I'm like, oh, that's amazing. And I said, we're writing a song together, and I'm going to use that as the basis, you know.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I was like, all right. Like, his first line was, it began as it ended with tears. And it's weird, his experience with the song mirrored the experience that I'd had, you know. And so I take his line and I extrapolate it, you know, like, but the tears are different this time. They don't tickle my cheeks, but etching sadness and regret. And the chorus, would you even recognise me now? So yeah, same sort of tragic experience, and it was
yeah. So did you want to show us a little bit of how you do your drawing?
Sure. This is
be interesting for people to see.
I wouldn't probably need glasses when I do this. Like, these are the cartoon and the things. Housing for the homeless. There's people like championing nuclear power stations. Yeah, they just give any, you know, I found a treasure, let's go to another portfolio. Bird flu. Anyway, it goes on. The cartoons are more deliberate.
Yeah.
I was trying to get in trouble. That's motivation. Oh, this guy that's from the news. A guy you weed on the produce in Woolies.
Oh yeah, that dude.
Aldi's took down some spice racks.
That one's funny.
Samsung's sponsoring the Olympics.
Oh, I saw that one. That made me laugh when I saw it on Facebook.
Yeah, they're given all the swimmers or athletes thing. This is Biden getting it wrong. It's Rod Stewart and his wife. Oh yeah, this is just straight from the head. Are we volunteering? Don't be silly, darling. Grab a bowl. One of the politicians got confronted about the crime in the area. Yeah. And I used the police commissioner's image and the robbers getting robbed. Saying we should do something about the crime. These are just from the last, not too long, I guess. And yeah, the moment you realise your day is not getting any better. Because the Olympics,
can relate to that one.
It was on my mind. I wanted a fat gymnast. Not very PC, but and the commentator's like, we're not sure what her next move's going to be because we think she might be stuck.
Oh no.
At least she's happy about it. And then
she's got a smile on her face.
This is a doodle, and well, I call them doodles, but you know, like I've said, they're not really. They're more than true. And I've started using colour. Just sort of temporary thing. I use pens, which can be a little limiting, and when you want a colour and it's already pre-made, you can't get it. Oh yeah, I've mixed up some of the things. Watch out for the poo. Yes, darling. I've mixed up a couple in the end. These doodles, I don't think of what I'm doing. Like the cartoons, I said, are more deliberate. These, I just basically watch my hands and see what they're doing, you know. So I'll start on that.
And that's the one for your poster, isn't it?
Yeah, I've used that as one of the posters. I've got a couple.
Yeah, very cool.
Another cartoon should be at the other end. So you're happy to see me?
No.
That's meth. Good God, no, that's meth. That was this morning I did that. Or yesterday and this morning took a while on that one.
Yeah.
And so this is how I basically start off. I just make some marks. Every now and then I might direct myself and think animals or connection, or, but I don't usually start with a theme. I just make some marks, you know. And I'm not thinking about anything now. I'm just making marks and go, oh look, there's a sort of a face here, and I don't care if. Okay, so it looks like a guy.
Oh wow, I can see that starting to form. That's amazing. Oh, goodness.
And then they're like little China dolls, so even though there's an eye and a nose here coming and a mouth here, the ear's going to turn into something different here. Yeah. It might be a little face or something, I don't know, but inside looks like a skull man or something. I don't really worry about it, I just watch it happen. So the whole thing's...
Yeah, just let it evolve.
There's a little wee person there, little miner here or something.
Wow, look at that.
And so I don't really know what I'm doing or don't care. Now that's supposed to be an ear because I thought, oh, that's a face, you know. And then, so I've got no idea why I'm doing this. I don't know what I'm doing here, but it looks like there's a queue or some sort or a rope. I don't care. I'm just making the marks. And you see that I'm working at a pretty quick pace. That's because I don't want my mind to interfere. It's only when I slow down and go, look, I've done this weird ass figure with a creepy hand. Then I might refine that later on. And it's like, okay, that's like an attitude. This thing's got an attitude here. Well, now it's an old thing, you know. And for some reason the eyes are on both the sides, but that becomes something else, you know. And it's like within, without. And then there's the overall picture at the end.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Well, thank you for showing us that. I'm really out of battery, so I'm going to have to wrap up in a minute. But I think we've got enough there anyway. That was a good little demonstration. I think people will really like watching that. I did. So, yeah, I think that's probably coming to the end of the interview now. So thank you so much, Jimmy.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. And did you want to plug your Fringe Festival again for us?
Sure. It's at the Factory Theatre. They call it the Fringe, Sydney Fringe Comedy. It's part of the Fringe Festival. And my two gigs are on the 28th and 29th of September. It's $18 on the Saturday and $14, I think, on the Sunday.
Okay, wonderful. And thank you so much for your time today. And yeah, we're looking forward to your opening day and everything. It's going to be great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.